Yo YouTube, back with a sales day video. Haven't done one of these in a bit. Thought this would be a good one. I got some good stuff that sold. Plus, I have an order on Whatnot to show and an order on Collx to show. One is from the sports card eBay store, cross-posting, and one is from a non-sport store card cross-listing. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to show you kind of how I fill those orders. So let's do the Collx order, which is a non-sport order, first. Alright, so the first thing I do, so this is my non-sport store. First thing I do is I go to my unsold listings, and that's going to automatically be where I had a listing canceled due to a sale on Whatnot or Collx. So this is a bench warmer card, which happens to be in one of these bags. Stuff I didn't get done, put away yet, but let's set the phone down, grab the bag here. I have some updating to do in the drawers, meaning I have bags to put away, but anyway, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to pull it out of here. There she is. Buffy Tyler. And that's sold. I can show you what it looks like on the site where it's sold. So this was a Collx order, I believe. Yes. So this is the Collx order. Sold for $2, but Collx doesn't really take any fees. So I get $1.80 out of it, which is fantastic. Alright, here you can see some other orders I've done. I've got some that are completed, some that are still being shipped. I had a couple of refunds because I had things that cross-listed that I didn't have in stock. So went through and cleaned most of that up. And should be able to fill any order going forward. But here it is, that's that Collx order. Then I have one that was in the other store, so I'm just going to bring up the other eBay store. And it's basically the same concept. I pull up my my unsold listings, which should have my eBay, my Whatnot or Collx orders in it. Alright, here, so we go to selling, we go to unsold, and here we go. We've got a Fred Dryer card. Now this one is not skewed, so I have to pull it out of the drawer here. So let's quick find this one. So that's good. I sold another skewed card. I'm getting down there now on the stuff that isn't bagged, which is good. I should still take a good hard day and just pull everything in the non-skewed drawer here and get it listed, or get it bagged. But I just haven't done it, and it hasn't really honestly been that big of an issue because I don't have as much to locate anymore since most stuff has been skewed. I just have stuff like this where I have a random card here and there that I pull out, and it hasn't been too much of an inconvenience. But I do know at some point I would just like it done. Especially when you're trying to pull from like multiple sales sources now. It's really nice to just have everything in a bag and easily be able to see the skew. So I'm looking for Fred Dryer here. But you can see it's not terribly difficult to complete an order across a few different platforms. I do still check, especially since it's new, I still do check to make sure if I get a sale and Whatnot that it was taken out of eBay and it was taken out of Collx. And so I don't have that double sale problem. Right now I'm not getting a ton of orders per day on those two sites. I did have a pretty big day on Whatnot last week where I had like 9 or 10 cards. I mean, for just starting out, that's pretty good. And it's just nice to have a couple other places where there's different buyers. It gives you an opportunity to get a sale. And it doesn't really take any extra effort to do it. Come on, Fred, where are you hiding? Pretty sure it was Fred Dryer, wasn't it? Go back and double check, I suppose. It's gonna be probably gonna be the last one in this pile here, because that's how it usually goes. There he is. It literally was the last card before the next set. Anyway, there's the Fred Dryer card. Crazy. He became an actor, I believe, after his football career, so there's a little bit of extra hobby due to that. So there, we filled our Whatnot order. So if I go to Whatnot, you can see I've had a lot more Whatnot orders than I have Collx orders, but for only really being listed on here a couple of weeks, they got quite a bit of stuff that I shipped out. And there's got to be a good 75 to 80 orders, I would say, just thumbing through them this way. So yeah, that's how that goes. I will go ahead and complete those orders later. Pretty much the same thing as you would do with eBay. Big difference is Whatnot and Collx creates the shipping label for you already once it sells. So basically just go in and print the label it created, attach it to a package for Whatnot and to an envelope for Collx, and ship them out. Alright, let's get to the eBay orders. So we have a lot of eBay orders. It was really slow yesterday morning-ish. So I was like, oh, this will be a perfect day to do an order because, you know, it was slower. And then not so much overnight. I got up this morning to start packing stuff, or, you know, to set up this video and whatnot. Anyway, here's a Brady Topps card, $4. And I was like, whoa, I got a ton of orders overnight. So, not a bad thing, but a lot of my multi-card orders seem to be coming later at night for some reason than what they used to. Alright, this is a cool card. This is a Michael Vick magazine cover card. 25. 2005 Upper Deck ESPN MVP. Mojo and full of it. Michael Vick. That sold for $3.99. Nice sale there. So even with Whatnot, Collx, you know, hopefully doing more live selling, things like that, eBay is still going to be my dominant player in my sales. Here's a 10 card order for $35.90. And this is bag, let's start with this one, 313. So bear with me, this video might be a little bit longer. I know those of you who starve for sales day videos will probably be pretty happy about that, but good chunk of orders here. So here's a Paul Molitor 1986 Topps. Well, you'll get to see a fair amount of things that sold. Some of it pretty normal, some of it pretty weird, because that's how I roll. 7.6 bag 2 right here. So this one we got just a 98 tops Cal Ripken. This order's mainly just normal cards. 1982, what is it? 82 tops? 98 tops, jeez. Here it is. Cal Ripken Jr. It's good to keep selling the staples along with the weird stuff though, because you need items that you can just simply buy and count on them selling in a timely fashion. 312.7. So this is a 2000 tops. Let's see, 2000 tops. Greg Maddux. There he is. Greg Maddux batting there. Pretty cool. I'll tip you down here so you can see a little better. So 2000 tops Greg Maddux. Then we need a 85 tops Cal Ripken. 11, 12, 19. So let's see, that one's way back here, I think. 85 tops Cal Ripken Jr. There it is. A little bit of stuff from my era, the players I watched, which I love to stock. Always admired those players. You know, they have good hobby. This tends to be something I naturally go after. 11, 13, 5. Ooh, way in the back. 11, 13, 5 is an 84 tops Ripken. There we go. It's a bunch of 80s Ripken cards in this order. Okay, 1, 10, 3. Then we need a 96 Ripken, tops Ripken. 1, 10, bag 3. Here we go. Try to open the bags away from the camera as best I can so that you don't get the big rip noise. So I apologize if that happens and it's annoying. Not a whole lot I can do about it. Everything's in a bag. So if I make these videos, it's going to have some rip noise in it. Here we go. 96 tops. Right? Yeah, 96 tops Ripken. Alright. 10, big 3. Put that back. Next, back down here, we got a Jeter. 6/18/25. I just pulled out a big stack of Jeters that I bought from the National. And if I have time this morning, I was going to work on those. Getting those listed. Jeter's just always such an easy card to sell. This is, there it is, 2000 tops. I think that's 2000, right? Yep, 2000 tops, Derek Jeter. Alright, then we need a, as you can see, I've got Jeter sales, so it's always good to have another stack to relist. Definitely one of my best sellers. Alright, 98 tops Maddux. 312.7. See if we can find a 98 tops Greg Maddux in here. I think it's right here. There it is. Greg Maddux. And last but not least, we need a chipper. .430 bag 18. I think that's going to be in here. Yep. 430 18. And we need a 97 tops chipper. There he is, Chipper Jones. Alright. Pulled that order. Like I said, most of these orders came from overnight, which is crazy. And next we've got a 10 card order for $23.90. So we'll start with the Drew Brees here, 6/2/25. It's one of my, let's way back here. This is one of the players that it's kind of iffy for me when I buy the cards. Because he's not a hot seller for me. But of course, you know, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. There we go, Topps Drew Brees. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame this year, next year, whenever his eligibility is. I think it's this year. And, you know, had a heck of a career. I think he holds a few records yet. Unless Brady broke all of them, I can't remember. But anyway, should be a pretty solid long-term play. It's got a good fan base, you know, things like that. All that kinds of stuff that matters. Does a little bit in media. He's got a huge, you know, amount of charity efforts that he does. Here we go, Favre Classics. But yeah, just not a huge seller for me. So I mean, if I can find his cards super cheap, you know, if I get them out of 5-cent bin, 10-cent bin, that makes a lot of sense. If they're better brands, you know, like I just sold that 05 Topps. It's a pretty good selling set. As a matter of fact, here's another one. Out of that set, I have a Jamal Lewis I'm pulling out of here. 05 Topps. There he is. But yeah, a lot of times, you know, where it's like a Brady or a Favre card of a certain set, I might grab. There's a lot of times I'll pass on the Brees. Here's a card that's not skewed, an 18 Classics Don Majkowski, the great Packer. So I'll pull that out later because that's in the non-skew drawer next to me here. All right, now we got a Rodgers, 10/15, bag 2. We've got Aaron Rodgers Classics. So we've got a bunch of classic sales here, which is good. Just base cards, nice set. There it is, Aaron Rodgers. All right, 125 or 121, 25, 2. So 121 bag 2. And I need a Tyreek Hill Classics. I haven't sold a lot of Tyreek Hill in recent times, so he used to be a great flip for me. There he is, Tyreek Hill. I'm glad I sold. I got some bigger rookies of his, like an optic rookie and stuff, out of like some like random pack bag buys type stuff. And I'm glad I sold those right away, because I don't know how they would do now. I mean, at $1 for the whole envelope, and I got like 25 bucks just for the optic rookie. It's kind of a no-brainer, but 8/6 bag 14. Did have a card that I just purchased from a local shop. So BB Sports opened a new shop in Appleton. Here's Jim Taylor Classics. So I went there for the grand opening, plugging through his dollar boxes, and I picked up a 90 Classic Yellow promo card, quad card, and it had Griffey on it. I didn't know those were super rare. But as I was listing stuff, I looked into it, and like, I never even saw one that had sold. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do with this. So I just kind of listed it high. Somebody made me a nice big offer on it. What is this one? Terrell Owens. There's an 05, more 05 Topps. So got $100 for it. Bought it out of the dollar box. So that was a heck of a score. 428.3. So you never know. Just because it's a shop doesn't mean it's going to have everything picked over. It was their first week of opening, so it's probably, you know, some fresher inventory. Here we go, McCaffrey. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey Classics. And then we got one more. We got a 2010. Where does this go? 428.3. Here. We've got a 2010 Topps Prime Brett Favre 110 bag 4. So we're going back to our early bags here again. Wait, that's not right. 110 must be 25 or 130. 130 24. 130 24.4. I'd be surprised if it's in here. I think I have the year wrong on that. I think that's a newer listing. But we'll check. Yeah, it's not in here. I think that's supposed to be 130.25 bag 4. Because it's scanned with my banner on it, and I wasn't doing that this far back. So sometimes if you have something that's mislisted, you can just tell what bag it should be in, like about where it should be in, and make your correction that way. So let's see if there he is, Topps Prime Brett. So I just had the wrong year marked on the bag, but we found it, so got that order ready to go, except for the one non-skewed card I have to pull. Okay, next we've got a Johnny Robinson from 71 Topps, 5/17 bag here. Big mix of different cards in this pack here. It's just whatever I could scan, really. There he is, Johnny Robinson from 71 Topps. Nice. That's all for $2.99. All right. Then we have a Steve Aoki, George Brett. That's one that I got at the National, so that's going to be back here a little more. A3 bag 4. I think there was more Steve Aoki copies in there. I should have bought them all. There's Brett. That sold for $3.59, but I had some Nolan Ryans, and I don't know, I had a few different ones. A couple of those George Bretts. That's literally my last one. So those were good sellers. 11/2 bag 5. 11/2/5. We need, oh, this order is 10 items for $66.90. 11/2/5. We need a press pass LaDainian Tomlinson. So essentially, there it is. LaDainian Tomlinson rookie. This is a nice buy. This is going to be one of my favorite orders. A lot of cards I hate to see go, because it's kind of one of my sneak plays. I buy rookies from like big name players, rookie cards from like press pass and stuff like that. Sets that aren't considered very good. You can get them in pretty cheap boxes a lot of the time. Here's a Roethlisberger rookie right there. Press pass. They're nice looking cards. They're sometimes pre-rookies, because sometimes it's from the year before they were drafted. And they're just really fun, you know, to try to get Ben Roethlisberger, like Topps rookies. You're gonna pay a good chunk of money for those. So I like the fact that I can get rookies of these bigger guys. 8/24/4. At an affordable price, so I buy quite a bit of this stuff. Here's an Eli rookie, again press pass, I believe. There it is. Sage hit. No, Sage hit. Eli rookie. So, I mean, it's still a Ben Roethlisberger rookie card for $1 or 50-cent box sometimes. It's like, to me, that's, why would you pass on that? So, 2/7, bag 3. And I resell them for a pretty good amount, too. So, it's not like, well, okay, yeah, you're buying them for $1. What can you sell them for? Here's a Randy Moss preview card from Collector's Edge. But, I mean, I can get, you know, $4, $5, $6 for those press pass rookies of those types of players. Or more. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely worth the buy. 12, 16, 5. No, 12, 6, 5. Here's another good example. Here's an Eli 04 press pass. I mean, look at that. That's a nice looking card, right? It's got some foil on it. Nice close up, called up close. Got some college stats and, you know, stuff on the back, like super young Eli photo. When he's still in college, of course. They're always college uniform cards, but I like, for a player of that caliber, college uniform rookie cards I think are cool. And other people are thinking they're cool now too, because they're moving a little quicker each year. So don't sleep on the old school press pass, Sage hit, you know, big name rookie guys. Here's another Sage hit. Oops, that's not it. It is an Eli one that I'm looking for, but it's not that one. See, here's a whole bunch of them. So there's another Eli. Yeah, I will, you know, like Leaf, if you're looking at like more modern players, like let's say Herbert, Burrow, Stroud, stuff like that, you can get, press pass isn't really a thing, but you can get cheap rookies of them from like Leaf Drive for Denver, which has a big fan base. They sell a lot of Denver cards. And I know he played for the Colts, which doesn't have, at least for me, doesn't have great sales. Here's another card I got to pull out of the bags. The Fleer Gamers Randy Moss base card. But even so, I still feel like there should be more hobby there for that man. 626.4. Now, that doesn't prevent me from buying him. Like, kind of like the Drew Brees, I'm a little more conservative on like what I'll pay or what cards I'm buying. Here we go. Mike Allstott. Choice card. But yeah, I'm just a little bit more selective on it, but I will never stop buying him because, again, Legend, Hall of Fame, MVPs, all those things that you need for longevity as far as hobby. And I believe as time goes by, you know, more will see that, and his sales will pick up more. Here's a Upper Deck X Derek Jeter. Kind of happened that way with Favre stuff too. Like, I was getting Favre stuff, well, the hobby was a little bit slower then too, but I was getting Favre stuff really cheap, you know, for a long time, right after he retired the second time. I think people were just kind of tired of him, and, you know, Rodgers is doing well, so he kind of just got forgot about a little bit. So I scooped up a bunch of stuff at a good price because he's my PC. And then stuff started selling. Here we go. We've got a J.J. Watt Rookies and Stars card. Oh, now I have Favre sales. I can't think of the last time I didn't have a Favre sale in a day. Speaking of Favre, here's another one. So it just makes sense to me that at some point there'll be a lot more interest in Manning. Here we go. Artifacts, Favre. Eight, 10, big 4. Maybe here. 8, 10, 4. We need an All-Star Star Child. I love the Star Child inserts. There it is, Star Child. From Metal Universe. Nice card. 9/1/25. That one I do have in here right towards the end. So I bought a bunch of Cal Raleigh rookies. Super cheap at the National. Found a ton of like Bowman and Tops and stuff like that. He's having such a great year. So these are from 2022. There it is. Cal Raleigh rookie. And they've been selling really well. I'm listing a couple here or there as I find them in the Nationals buy boxes. try to get them on right away because, like I said, you don't know. Baseball's tough. You don't know when their market is going to slow. We're getting closer to the playoffs, so I want that stuff gone before they aren't in the playoffs or don't do well in the playoffs, because Seattle's not particularly great this year. Here we go, Flacco and Ray Lewis, Topps Paramount Duos or Paramount Pairs? Paramount Pairs card. So yeah, happy to get the Raleigh stuff on there and get it moving. Maybe he'll get an MVP or something. I don't know. That would give it a boost, but I'm not going to count on that. There are some pretty big names out there that are always in the running for the MVP. Here we want another Peyton Manning card. Go figure. Peyton Manning Topps Chrome. Nice. Okay, next. 11, 10. Oops, no, not that. 11. 11, 10. 2. Barry Bonds Yard Work. There it is. Pinnacle Yard Work card. Nice. Then go back to Mr. Favre. We need a Topps Chrome. 2010 Topps Chrome. 5/14/8. I mean, I think I got a big stack of these Topps Chrome Favres at one point. I mean, you can see here how many I still have. I think I got a big stack of them, like 40 or 50 copies for like $5. You know, and now I'm getting like $3, $4 a piece for them. So it's, as the legacy grows and the cards become harder to find and they're not in new sets and, you know, all that good stuff, things pick up. Here's a Vic Topps Chrome. Nice. Especially, again, like I said, solid brands like Topps Chrome. You know, and then you get to like the fancier cards. That always does well too, like Gold Label and things like that. Alright, 4/28/3. And we need an Elway Fleer Ultra. There he is. So yeah, just keep listing. Keep running around picking cards for orders. Rinse and repeat. It's pretty easy once you got something established. Here's a Terrell's, or Rice, excuse me, that's Rice. T3 card. Love the old Edge sets. They're getting some respect finally, so that's good to see. 2/13/7. So we need a Touchdown Kings Jerry Rice insert. There we go. So some Rice sales. Rice stuff has been hotter for me recently, which is good. Okay, another Chrome Vic. It's a newer pickup, 7/27/2. And it's 06 Chrome. There he is, Michael Vick. Okay, 5/19/25. So it started out as like a super slow money day yesterday. Overnight just exploded and sold a bunch of big cards. I shouldn't say big cards, but it sold a ton of cards. A couple of big cards. It's Griffey Topps. And here we are. So now we've got a ton of cards to pull and ship. Okay, next we've got a Black Label Edge Jerry Rice, 12/22/24. Let's go back here. Yep. It's another Jerry Rice Collector's Edge card here. There he is. And it's got the gold Black Label. Nice. 22. There's another Favre card. 4-7. Bag 3 should be up here. Here it is. We need a 2000 playoff momentum. There we go. You can see another card that I have a ton of copies of, so happy to see them getting plucked out. Alright, next we got a 10 card order for $51.90. So we need a July 4th bag 4. We need a Marcus Allen. So we need Marcus Allen insert. There it is, the finesse acetate card. A little yellowed over time. Okay, next we need 5, 26, 25, 3. And let's see, what do I need? Mahomes. Need a Mahomes championship card. Where is it? Here it is. Road to the Super Bowl. Okay. Then we need a Fred Taylor rookie. 6, 18, 25. I find Fred Taylor rookies cheap all the time, and I always buy them because they sell pretty well. You know, there we go. There's an EX Fred Taylor rookie. All right, and we've got a 99 Favre card, which is one of the years of Favre inventory that I do not have skewed yet. So I'll pull that after off camera. So it's right here, it's this aerial assault card from Fleer Tradition. And then we got a pennant, 118. That should be here. 118 bag 2. I love it when this stuff sells. Die cuts, minis, all that stuff when it goes. Tony Gonzalez, second year card for him. Contenders fuzzy blue pennant card. That strange year that they did for Contenders. 9, 27, 18. Alright, we need a Jeter. So we need a Sandlot Heroes, Derek Jeter. There it is, from Invincible. A few copies of that, so this one sale is good. It hopefully will trigger that algorithm to push some more sales. 18 right here. 5, 3, 24. 2. Alright, I need a Garrett Wilson rookie. I think he might have a pretty good season. We'll find out, I guess. Another acetate card there from Playoff Momentum through Chronicles. This is part of the Chronicles collection. Then we've got a Mike Allstott. Oh no, excuse me, work done. Here's one where I basically bought the card based on brand. Let's see here. Here's another Fred Taylor rookie. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Work done. So EX, very great, very good brand. Work done has some hobby, so it made sense to pick that one up. Probably got it out of a quarter box or a dime box or something like that. Wouldn't have paid very much for it, so why not? Here's a 2020 Phoenix Fireburst. Travis Kelce. So normally I would pick this after, but since I only have one set of these, see if we can scoop it out of here. I would love to get all these out of boxes and skewed as well, of course. Let's see. So we need a Travis Kelce out of here. If it's not in here, it's possible it's in my non-skewed football, which I still have a little drawer of. but better odds are that it's in here. There he is, Travis Kelce. Good. So another non-skewed card sold. Love that. Cutting that job down every day by pulling sales, so that's good. Alright. And then we need a Favre card. 513, bag 5. We need a Upper Deck SPX Silver, my last one of those. Good one there. $414, bag 3. Alright, and here we need a Scottie Pippen. There he is. Scottie Pippen, that sold for $250. Alright, next we need a Juggernaut card. So one of those non-sport cards just still hanging around in the original store here. Sold, so that's good. 327.3. Feel like since the day I started doing this, it's a never-ending battle to organize and, you know, get things listed as organized and, you know, what makes sense. But it's ever evolving too, right? So it's always going to get a little out of order, and you got to try to get it back in order. There he is, Juggernaut. Sold for $269. And I never thought, excuse me, never thought back in the day I would be creating a second store with non-sport. So I just listed all the non-sport in my primary store. It's going to take a bit to get those all sold. Alright, let's get this picked up. We got a little spillage here. Picker box runneth over a little. Okay, next we've got Willie Mays card. 12/19, peg 3. Right here, this San Francisco Giants Decades card. Sold for $2.99. Then 122, bag 4. Need a Matt Olson silver foil card. I believe it's back here. There he is. Sold for $2. And 11-2. Apologize for the sniffles. Came down with a little bit of a cold. And that's where the sneezing is coming from. 'Tis the season. Starting to get darker and colder and all those fun things. That's not going to do it. 10-11-2. No, must be in a different bag. We'll have to look that one up after. Alright, so 01 Bowman's Best Randy Moss. And 8-8 bag 4. Bag 4. We need a Donovan McNabb 2000 Prism. There he is, Donovan McNabb 2000 Prism. Okay, on to Troy Aikman next. 4. 7/20/25. So it's going to be down here. So we need a Troy Aikman Black Diamond. So, oh, these are all non-sport cards. Wrong bag. 7/20/25. 5. Here we go. Now I need an Aikman Black Diamond. There we go. Alright, 4/1/12, so it's going to be way up here. 4/1, oops, camera fell down, sorry about that. 4/1 big 12, we need a Dion Pinnacle. There it is, Dion. One 12. Okay, then 9/18/24. So this one, I need a Ray Lewis Skybox Thunder. Should be a bunch of them back here. There we go. So one of the things I have changed a little bit over the last couple weeks since starting to list with Whatnot and Collx regularly is I'm now listing direct to eBay. So for a long time I didn't want to do that because when you list direct to eBay, everything gets locked down in the listing. There we go, Topps Chrome, Larry Fitzgerald. So I couldn't like consolidate bags, like change SKU numbers. I couldn't list quantity, you know, unless I manipulated it before I uploaded it. Actually, I still don't think you can because you'd have to do it in the CSV. So I didn't like that. So I would just list 9/3/25. That one's going to be in the bag, so I'll pull that later. So I didn't like that. I wanted that control. I like to consolidate the bags down. You know, over time, it helps me kind of do some inventory checks and things like that. But Larry Fitz, great hand steam, one of the greatest prism inserts ever, I think. Super underrated. But I wanted to switch and get back to that, especially on stuff that I scan. 21/15, because when it lists to Collx and it lists to Whatnot and it lists to eBay direct, then everything in your inventory gets checked whenever you get a sale, and it's going to reduce any duplicate sales that I would have. Where's this one? I thought I saw it in here. What am I looking for? Upper Deck MVP. There it is. Right there, Emmett. So I decided that I'm gonna do as many direct listings as I can. You know, if I have a huge quantity of something, I might not want to do that because I don't want to list 30 copies of something individually. So there'll probably be some exceptions, but for the most part, like if I have 1 or 2 copies of something, or you know, I shouldn't say not one, of course if I have one, but if I have like 2, 3, 4 copies of a card, I'm not gonna list them in quantity. I would just, here we go, Alfonso Soriano rookie for $3.59. I'll just put them in separate listings. It'll be a little less work for me on the listing side. It'll be a little less work for me on the maintenance side because I wouldn't have to spend time consolidating bags. That also means that if a bag gets down to 1 or 2 cards, I either have to end that listing and relist it with a different SKU, or just sit on it and wait until those last 2 cards sell before I pull that bag. Here's a Impact Dion that sold for $2.99. So a few things to think about with it, but I still think overall it's it's going to be the better way to go as I start picking up on Whatnot sales and Collx sales regularly and stuff. I won't have to do as much checks to see if the listing got taken down on the other sites. 523.7. 537. Last one in the row. Oh. Okay, so I need a Jose Canseco Big League bat. There he is. Sold for $2.99. One of the insert sets or lots, if you want. I don't know if it's a complete set or not, but that I got in a big dealer buyout. So I love seeing those when you buy that. Those big quantities, love seeing having some of that sell quickly. Alright, 429.3. This is going to be a upper deck Nolan Ryan right there. Sold for $1.99. I got a Harlem Globetrotters card. Don't see those very often. 521 bag 9. So that's back here. That's Harlem Globetrotters at Disney World, I think. Something like that. I don't know. It seemed weird enough and cool enough to pick up. There we go. At Walt Disney World. From that Globetrotter set. I got $2 for that. Okay, then I've got a Ren and Stimpy card. 463. Let's get back here a bit. 463. I'm still going through attrition on the non-sport stuff. Out of this store to Prism Circles. There we go. To get just non-sport listed in my other store. But it's going to take a while. I did have a lot of non-sport listed, so I have to write it out. 9/19/15. 9/19/15. And I need a Josh Gibson. There he is. Sold for $5.50. That's a good one. Josh Gibson, one of the true record holders for home runs. But of course he didn't play in Major League Baseball. He was in the Negro Leagues, and they don't count those stats together. I think actually now those stats are, but at the time they didn't. So he was draft. Trying to think of another one. There's still Sage stuff, I believe. There's a couple different sets that still have like cheap rookies, pre-rookies, XRCs, whatever you want to call them. Fleer EX, Brett Favre. So I still buy those as well. Not too long ago, at a show, somebody had a big pile of, I can't remember if it was Sage or what it was, what the set is. I'd have to go look. But anyway, a bunch of good name players in there, and it was bagged. Let's see, 11/4, bag 3. And anyway, so he had like probably 30 or 40 cards in this bag, and he was selling them for $0.25. So it's like, is it $0.25 per card? And he's like, no, it's $0.25 for the whole bag. I was like, what? Marbury rookie from Flair. So I bought that sucker right away, and it had some like legend, you know, veteran look back rookie year or college year stuff, which most of those college products have. So it had like some Aikman cards and some Dan Marino cards, stuff like that. So, you know, you have automatic, you know, sales out of some of those players. 12/1/12. But yeah, a deal like that is awesome. But it had like Caleb Williams in there, rookies. People just get rid of that stuff. It's crazy. And I get that it's not high-end stuff. You know, you're going to get like $3-4 for a Caleb Williams rookie, but so what? Here's a big sale. I sold, I have a PC Favre, and I had this Super Bowl stamp PSA 6 card that I've had forever. And I have a PSA 9, so I don't need the 6. And been holding out for a much better price on it, and I've gotten a lot of interest recently on it. And this sold for $700. So now, an interesting detail on this one is it's got to be authenticated, of course. So I have to ship it to the authenticator tomorrow. Yeah, $700, a good sale for that card. So I was pretty happy about that. All right, next we've got an Acuna. So 8/28/25. So I don't just sell low end. I have some bigger sales in there, which is good. Here he is, Acuna Museum Collection for $3.99. I think it's important. You do want to get, you know, have some stuff, bigger stuff that you believe in for selling too. All right, here's the next order, $30.90 for 10 cards. These are going to be all stuff I just listed. I have this buyer. I'm not going to show who it is. You might have seen it, but I list stuff and he instantly buys it. So this is all stuff that was listed within the last 2 days. So they're obviously all on my counter up there in bags that have to be put away. So I'll get to that order a bit later. But anyway, it's a bunch of like late 80s, early 90s base player stuff of like good players. So like 89 Donruss Nolan Ryan, 89 Topps Montana Team Leader card, 89 Fleer Nolan Ryan, 88 Score Bo Jackson. So pretty basic stuff. Just again, bread and butter type stuff that sells. All right, next we have a 47 card order for $132.83. So 47 cards, it's a pretty good size order. So we'll get going on that one. So, and this one was overnight too, so you can see how much just popped overnight, because all these orders I've done so far just happened overnight. So we need a 93 Upper Deck Joe Montana. All right, let's see here. Let me tip you up so you can see. There it is. 93 Upper Deck, the gold version or the gamers version. Subset. Joe Montana. So I always look for those G cards in boxes. I don't really have the variation photos memorized or anything, because they do look different than the regular base card. To me, it's just easier to flip it over. If it's got a gold hologram and a G on the back, I know I'm good to go. 12/6/7. I need a Metal Universe Randy Johnson. Where are you, Randy? There you are. Metal Universe Randy Johnson. Oops. Alright. On 7/18, which is probably going to be way up here. 7/18/10. Oh, let's stand up. It'll be easier for everybody to see. I need a Unbreakable John Elway. There it is. Select Unbreakable John Elway. Alright, next we need a Clear Shots Dion. This is a newer listing, 8/23/3. Like, here's another example. Here's a Leaf Draft Justin Herbert Gold and a Silver. And those are J.J. McCarthy, Sage. You know, I love. Here's a Caleb Williams Sage. I love that stuff. Nobody else buys it. I buy it. I shouldn't say nobody else, because I do resell it. Here's Clear Shots Dion. Love those clear inserts. Acetate cards. Alright, next we've got, and Justin Herbert looked amazing the other night, so I suspect his markets, if he has a couple more games in a row here, I suspect his market will have some pop to it. 5/14/8. Alright, I need a chrome JJ Watt. This came out of a big bulk buy from a dealer at the GOAT show, who I went over and dug through a ton of his boxes and picked stuff up outside the show, which was nice. It's always better to do than to do it at the show. We only have so much time and so many dealers. Alright, in fact, I'm kind of trying to hook up with him to do another buy, but we've both been busy and it just hasn't gotten there yet, so hoping to do that soon. 728. 25, so we got another John Elway card here. 96 metal. There it is, 96 metal John Elway. You just can't go wrong with these staples. John Elway stuff sells, you know, Favre stuff sells. Like, you gotta play the hobby, you know, if you've got, here it is. You know, if that's your customer base. Here we go. Pinnacle Instincts Favre, like 1,000 of those, so it's nice to get a sale on one of those. Still have a couple of big monster boxes of Favre stuff to list, so keep letting it kind of sell down and take care of itself, and then I will get a bunch more listed. Here we need a Ripken Pinnacle card. Here we go. Alright, next we need a Peyton Manning. It's another guy I would think would sell really, really well. And doesn't do that well for me. 12-1-11. I mean, Hall of Famer, definitely in the media, does commercials and TV shows, all that good stuff. Just not a lot of drive for his cards. I know, I mean, he played for, he didn't ever recognized as a home run leader. Alright, I need a, is this right? 9/18/12. Oh shoot. 9/18/12. Here we go. So I need a, let's see, where are you? This is it. Power Rangers card, $2.99 for that one. Then I have another Power Rangers card, 5/11/2. 5/11/2. Got the Pink Ranger right on the front there, sold for $1.79. Let's go to the same buyer, so it can combine shipping there. We do have some auctions that ended that got sales, so that's what that next one is. That'll get pulled out of my auction listing box. I'll get that later. 6/6/22. It's got a Brady card here. Super Bowl Heroes. There it is. $4. And a Dion. 7/6/2. Didn't have a ton of, I haven't had a lot of non-sport orders very recently. Haven't been listing as much there either. Here's this Dion class of 95 experience card for $2.70. I haven't been listing as much, so that's probably affects, you know, the sale a little bit there. But sports has been so busy that I haven't. 5/23/3. I'm putting as much focus on it. I do have the scanner right now, so I'm just trying to rip as much stuff as I can, sports and non-sports, to get it listed. What am I looking for here? Brady 5/23/3. Not seeing that one in here. I'll probably have to look that one up. Gotta have the wrong bag number on it. So, alright. So we'll move on from that one for now. Maybe it's 5/22/3. I don't know. I'll look it up. Once I go, so kind of how I do that is I'll go to the listing on the browser and it'll tell me the day I listed it, and that generally will indicate which bag it's in. A couple more auctions that sold. There's another auction, another auction, another auction. Alright, 816, bag 5. Is this one, and we got a Billy Wagner rookie card out of here. I need to grab. There he is. Billy Wagner, Topps Future Stars. $5 for that one. $4.99 technically. Okay, now we got a gold medallion Ruben Drones. 117.2. Should be this one here. Ruben Drones gold. There he is. Not sold for $1.99. We got a Pete Rose. 16, 13. Right here, very first bag in this row here. We got a Pete Rose. 81 Donruss. There he is. Sold for $2.99. Alright, we got a golf card from Sports Illustrated for Kids. 513.8. So we need a Nick Price. The silver ones, we'll get back to those. Skip all the gold ones. There's a Nick Price right there. That sold for $3.50. Not bad. Still love the Sports Illustrated for Kids stuff. Great play. Alright, then we got a 10 card order for $51.90. And we're just about done after that. No, I have it. Just gotta find the right bag. Might actually be in... I could try the previous bag. Nope, not in there either. Okay, so we'll have to look that one up. No biggie. Alright, next we've got an a Steve McNair gold marble card. 614 24. Oh, this one here. 614 24. There we go. There he is, Steve McNair, Sensations, gold marble. And then the last one out of here comes out of the non-skewed vintage drawer. And it's an Archie Manning 1981 Topps card. So, since that's the last one, we'll pull that one on camera here, and you can see that in the non-sport store. Or in the non-skewed drawer. Alright, so we need a 1980. I only have a little section of 1981 in here, so this should be pretty easy. Let's get them tipped up here where it can be easier to get to. I can't wait until these are not skewed anymore. There we go. There's a few Archies. It looks like it's this one, because it seems like it's the one with the least centering, which is odd. You'd think you'd buy the more centered one, but that appears to be the one. See what the back looks like. It's a little thinner over here. Maybe it is a different one. No, it's that one. Unless there's another Archie in this supply here. I guess we could flip through all of them. There isn't that many. Otherwise, that appears to be the correct one. That's the other thing with skewing. I don't have to like look at the different copies and try to figure out which one's which when they sell for vintage. That's not the one either. Here, I bet this is it. Yep, that's the one. The one in the sleeve there. That's for sure it. Okay. So that's it for the sports. The Whatnot order, the Collx order. Now let's do the non-sport orders. So go ahead and log into the non-sport store real quick. Put my password in off camera, of course, here. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's do this. We need 214 bag 3. Alright, we need a Saved by the Bell card. Saved by the Bell, the college years. And we need the big dorm room guy. Let's see where. Oh, last one in there, of course, for Bob Golick. That sold for $2.99. Good sale there. Okay, and we've got some Garbage Pail Kids. We need 8-1. Big 6. It's going to be the last one in this row here. A lot of loose bags in this drawer, so I can definitely pull some drawers forward and get some more stuff in here. There, they need Pillaging Paul. There he is. Pillaging Paul's Viking card, 35 years of GPK. Sold for $1.79. The 40th anniversary Garbage Pail Kids set just came out, so probably spiking a few sales due to that. 121.5. This is a Fortnite card. Need a pink cleaver / axe. Is it this one? Yep, right there. Combo cleaver. Sold for $1.99. Got a big stack of those in a random non-sport 2-row that I bought at the Madison show a bit ago. Oh, 129.8. So we need a Ren and Stimpy card here. So this one here, Ask Dr. Stupid, sold for $1.79. Then we got a card we just listed, so that'll have to get pulled out of the packs on the desk over there that haven't been put away yet. This Superman card from DC Overpower trading card game, $2.99. I bought that at a local media resale store. So you can get cards from a lot of different places. They've always had a few boxes of cards. I went through some of them, found some decent stuff, and that Superman came from that. I think I paid like 20 cents for it in the end. Actually less than that, because they were 5 for $1, and I bought like a whole ton of cards, so they gave them to me cheaper. So I'm guessing like 15 cents maybe I paid for that. All right, a couple of these Ninja Turtle playing cards. One of my plays I've made recently where I bought some different cool trading card pop culture decks. So we got a couple aces here. We've got Donatello and Raphael, and those sold for $3.98. I think I paid $4 or $5 for the whole deck. They were on sale at Barnes & Noble, so I picked up like 4 or 5 different decks. You'll see here I have a Lord of the Rings cards that sold too from one of the decks. I'll be able to show you in a minute, but yeah, it's kind of a fun play. They're not going to be super hot, you know, you're not going to make a ton of money off of them. They don't fly off the shelves, that kind of thing, but it does allow you to add something else. This G.I. Joe Cobra Viper promo card, I think, I don't know. Anyway, sold for $1.79. So we're just looking for some out-of-the-box stuff. I thought the card decks would be pretty cool. 516-2. So I don't want to go like super mad on them, but if you find a couple of cool decks of things that, you know, have hobby. So here's the Lord of the Rings, part of the Lord of the Rings deck. Thought the cards looked really cool. Nice shots of the characters from the films. And this is the one we sold here. This is, I don't remember who this guy is. don't follow Lord of the Rings real close. But anyway, that sold for $1.99. So obviously the main characters, you know, in something like this you'd probably list for more versus like some of the orcs and, you know, like common characters you might list for a little bit cheaper. So kind of nothing different really than regular playing or trading cards. 210 big 3. Alright, I need a power foil. Here it is, Power Rangers. It's sold for $9.99. Love me some Power Rangers cards. Nice sale there on that one. Alright, another Garbage Pail Kids. 8-9 big 4. And this is an 86 tops. Let's see, Outer Space Chase. Sold for $2.99. Picked that up at the National for $0.25. Okay, and then, oh, same bag. Different buyer. Virus Iris. Yep, there it is for $2.99. Okay. Couple nice vintage Garbage Pail Kids sales there. All right, 6/22/12. I need another Garbage Pail Kids. I need Flat Tyler, which is another 1986 card. That's the other half of that design. Just passed. There he is, Flat Tyler, and that sold for $12.50. That's a good one. No, I'm sorry, the Virus Iris sold for $12.50. I didn't tell you the price on that one. So this one previously, the Virus Iris, which is a 1985 first set, I believe. Virus Iris sold for $12.50. So that's a great buy for $0.25 out of at the National. And then this one sold for $2.99, which is a 3rd or 4th series card, I believe. All right. Oops. I think that is it for the non-sport sales. Yes. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this sales day video. Try to bring these to you more frequently as time permits, but appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified of any of these future videos. Join us every Wednesday live, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Goat Show, September 28th. Tables are sold out. Free admission, free parking. Join us if you can at the historic Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay. Always, that's it for this one. Thanks again so much. Appreciate all of you. And remember, you can't sell what you don't list.